Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Amazon Web Services webinar, Amazon Connect, Create an Exceptional Contact Center Experience. Our speaker today is Chris Bergen, Business Development Manager for Amazon Connect. A couple housekeeping items before we get started. All attendees are in listen-only mode. We will take questions after the presentation, so if you have a question, please type it into the questions section of the main GoToWebinar panel on your right. With that, we're ready to get started, so I'll turn it over to you, Chris.
Thank you, Maureen. Okay, thank you everybody for joining. Today, I'd like to walk you through introduction to Amazon Connect. We'll start by talking about how Amazon uses our own internal technology to drive our customer service. We are going to move on to talk about Amazon Connect and the functionality that's you can find within Amazon Connect and an example adoption process. We'll wrap by doing a demonstration and reviewing the pricing and availability. As many people know, Amazon strives to be Earth's most customer-centric company. Our customer service for our retail brand incorporates 50 Amazon groups and subsidiaries like Audible.com and Zappos.com. We service millions of customers speaking dozens of languages in 32 countries around the world. In our peak, we have tens of thousands of customer service agents supporting Amazon customers. We knew that we needed the right contact center technology to deliver on our promise to be Earth's most customer-centric company. That technology needed to be scalable to handle our peak sessions like around the holiday season. It needed to be simple to use so that any contact center we had in the world would be able to quickly make changes. It needed to be open so that we could integrate it with back-end systems, and then it needed to be reliable. We went to the market about 10 years ago to look for a solution that would fit our needs and help us deliver on that promise, but it was difficult to find. Some of the challenges we found were that the tools themselves were cumbersome and the integrations were difficult. They required heavy professional services. They took up space in our data centers for the telephony applications and software and hardware. We had concerns about security, reliability, and scalability. And last of all, the pricing didn't fit with our model on delivering customer value. The pricing was complex. It required per agent seat licenses. It was difficult and complex to manage that pricing to our scale. So we built a solution. That's Amazon Connect. Amazon Connect is easy to use, cloud-based contact center solution that scales to support businesses of any size. It comes with all the standard functionality you would expect to have in a contact center, including skills-based routing, call recording, real-time and historical analytics, and a high-quality voice capability. It delivers that high-quality voice capability over a soft phone for the agents that we call a contact control panel. The real-time and historical analytics have both tabular form in which you can create your own reports. Also includes a real-time performance dashboard so you can see visually what's happening in your contact center. The call recording is attached directly to those reports so that you have the ability to go back and look at a call and then listen to it right there from your reporting. And the skills-based routing, while simple in how it's delivered through the administration portal, it's very sophisticated in how you can set up calls to route to the right agents based on information you know about the caller. Besides the standard functionality that you would expect to find in a contact center, Amazon Connect also includes some differentiators. For example, it's 100% cloud-based. You don't have to have any software downloads, no plugins, and no hardware. We like to say you can walk in with a laptop and in 5 minutes leave with a contact center. It has self-service configuration, meaning you only have to log into the console, create your instance of Amazon Connect by answering 5 simple questions, and within 5 minutes, you'll be able to take your first call. Another differentiator is the dynamic, personal, and natural contact flows you can create with Amazon Connect. Contact flows, think of those like IVR applications, except they do a lot more. It allows you to control the customer experience from the minute the call is placed to the routing, all the way to the routing to the agent. I want to show you an example of a contact flow and the kind of customer experience you can create that's personal, dynamic, and natural. So right now, the incoming call would route to would initiate a CRM lookup and a database dip so that you could understand who the customer is that's calling your contact center. In this case, it's Nikki Wolf. We got that from the CRM database. We also see that we did a data dip into the flight booking system to understand why Nikki might be calling. Does she have an existing flight? And indeed she does, but that flight was canceled, we can see when we did the data dip. So the system can then come back and greet Nikki personally. Hi, Nikki Wolf, I see your flight was canceled today. How can I help you? She can respond in her natural language, natural conversation. Can you please rebook me for the same flight tomorrow? The system can then respond, go back into a database, create the booking, and come back to Nikki and say, okay, you are now booked for a 9 a.m. departure tomorrow out of San Francisco, arriving in Seattle at 11:45 a.m. And Nikki responds, great, thank you. This is an example of a contact flow that creates a customer experience that's dynamic, personal, and natural. When we say natural, we're leveraging the technology called Amazon Lex, the same technology that powers Alexa, so that Nikki can create that natural conversation. Another differentiator is the open platform. The AWS Platform Services offers the ability to connect Amazon or to enrich your Amazon Connect experience. You can, for instance, you can take your call recordings and store them in an S3 bucket. You can have the system create an S3 bucket for you, or if you have a specific S3 bucket for your customer that you would like to store your recordings and call detail records in, you can specify an S3 bucket. You can also connect agent data to systems like workforce management so that you can do scheduling and forecasting within your workforce management system. The metrics are all available within the Amazon Connect application, but they can also be streamed to your data warehouse using Kinesis. The contact control panel here on the lower left of this screen, this is our AgentSoft phone. You can use the AgentSoft phone out of the box, or you can connect it to other applications like CRM or your custom application. Oftentimes, contact center agents working in CRM would prefer to have their call control within that CRM so that they don't have to go back and forth between windows or applications. The contact control panel allows you to do that. And then contact flows. Contact flows can leverage AWS platform services like AWS Lambda, which is Lambda is a service that allows you to have code without having to provision hardware. It'll execute code, standard code, and based on triggers. So in the example we showed previously, when Nikki Wolf called in, the system executed some code in Lambda to look into a customer database and understand that that was Nikki calling in based on her caller ID. Then it went into another system, the flight booking system, and looked to see if Nikki Wolf had a flight scheduled. This is all powered leveraging AWS Lambda from within a contact flow. These are just some of the examples that you can enrich the experience using Amazon Web Services. Another example or another differentiator is the leveraging the AWS ecosystem. The AWS, you get the benefit of all of AWS's partners. On the left, you'll see some market-leading CRM solutions. In the middle, workforce management and analytics, and on the right, consulting. Going back to the left, as I mentioned in the previous slide, oftentimes CRM is used in conjunction with contact centers. So having an integration to market-leading CRMs offers the ability to very quickly enrich your agent experience by connecting the Amazon Connect contact control panel to the CRM you're using, or even a custom application. These are some of the partners that we announced at launch. This is constantly evolving, so please visit aws.amazon.com/connect to see our updated list. In the middle, these are some of our workforce and analytics partners. Tableau, for example, allows you to visualize your data. If you're streaming your Amazon Connect data to a data warehouse and using Tableau to visualize that data, those integrations are available. Calabrio is an example of a market-leading workforce management solution. Pindrop is security and fraud detection. Voice-based speech analytics. So we have a number of partners that we can integrate with that would extend the experience and the value you're getting from your Amazon Connect platform. On the right, the consulting partners. These are some of our partners that can help build your Amazon Connect instance. Of course, if you have the skills in-house, we make it very easy to configure Amazon Connect. But if you'd like to work with a partner who can help migrate from your existing technology to Amazon Connect, these partners are partners we announced at launch. And again, this list is always evolving, so please check the website for up-to-date partner lists. Okay, now I'd like to share with you a challenge that one AWS customer faced with their contact center and how they're solving those challenges with Amazon Connect. On the left, you see a very typical premise-based cycle. You spend many customers, this particular customer, spent a year evaluating their contact center technology that was available in the market. They spend that year to purchase a solution so that they're very sure that the solution can meet their needs, because once the purchase is made, they make a commitment, and they have to make a commitment before they can get access to the technology. Then in year 2, they spend their time implementing the technology. In year 3, it's time to upgrade the solution. And in year 5, it's time to refresh that technology. This creates a cycle. And for this customer, the challenge of this cycle was that their infrastructure was always aging. They had high upgrade costs. There were high costs to do add-ons. It made it difficult for them to be able to innovate quickly. It always required business funding to keep up with the upgrade cycle. There was a new functionality lag, meaning that in order to get access to new functionality, they would have to upgrade the solution. So there was always a lag between when the vendor announced functionality and when they would be able to implement it in their environment. And last, business prioritization. They found it difficult to be able to prioritize the needs of the business in sync with what the technology was able to deliver. This created a need to change and modernize. What they decided they wanted was 100% cloud-based solution, no infrastructure ownership, had to be reliable and redundant, and they wanted to be able to answer calls with an agent anywhere at any time. So they started on a process with Amazon Connect. This is an example of their adoption process. On the left, you'll see evaluation. This is typically where technological stakeholders become familiar with Amazon Connect. They'll get started with it, create an instance, takes about 5 minutes. Within that instance that you create, there's sample contact flows. So you can start to build your competency with those sample contact flows. And some of those contact flows allow you to experience some of the functionality, some of the sophisticated functionality of Amazon Connect. For example, you could do a screen pop. There's a sample contact flow for creating a screen pop. There's a sample contact flow for using a queued callback, which is allowing somebody to put their number into the system and have their number wait in line rather than having to wait on the line for an agent to get connected with an agent. When your number moves to the front of the line, the agent can call you. Once they go beyond the sample contact flows, they'll typically look to build competencies with custom contact flows that maybe replicate some of the ways they've configured their existing system. In building those contact flows, the technology stakeholders tend to discover new capabilities that are available in Amazon Connect. And they may start to leverage Lambda to do integrations for either data dips or integrations to back-end BI systems. Once they've started to feel confident with the platform, they'll usually, you look to create a POC. This customer looked at 3 areas where they could create a POC: internal teams, self-service IVR apps, or areas of their contact center where they could segment agents. The internal teams you might think of like HR or IT help desk, easy places to start with a POC. An IVR application for self-service might be executing a password change or making a change in an account where they're not actually connecting to agents. And then the third is segmenting off a group of agents. So using your POC in live production with a group of agents that you could segment from your existing platform. In order to get these POCs off the ground, the customer needed to engage the business leaders. The way that process typically starts is by defining the art of the possible with Amazon Connect and providing either a demonstration of what the technology team was able to build to this point in preparation for a POC, or working with the AWS team to show some demos that we've built. This also allows the business leaders to get educated on the AWS platform and start to understand how this ecosystem enriches the platform. We love to hear from both the technology and the business stakeholders on feedback that drives their long-term vision for their contact center, so we can incorporate that into our product roadmap. 90% of AWS's product roadmap is driven by customers. Once the POC planning is done, customers will then move into an adoption phase of that POC, which incorporates these steps you see here in the cycle: discover, design, build, integrate, validate, and then cut over. May start with a small group or a self-service application or an internal team, but as comfort with that POC evolves, typically tend to adopt the rest of that line of business. And as we then move into the last box here, into repeating to other lines of business, those are a good time to take a moment and revisit the lessons that were learned through the POC, optimize and iterate on the platform, and then leveraging the new functionality or new solutions and integrations that you've learned through the process to create better experiences in the forthcoming lines of business. What this customer learned coming out of the POC was, on the left, was how they were doing business today, and on the right, what they were able to do, how they felt about the solution coming on Amazon Connect coming out of the POC. So you can see they went from supporting, the IT team went from supporting the business to being able to transform the business. The business was often asking, can it be done? And now they're asking, based on the experience of the POC and how quickly the IT team was able to respond to the changing needs of the business, now they're asking, how quickly can this be done? The IT team found it difficult to have limited functionality. They could and constantly have to upgrade and patch to get access to new technology, new functionality. Now with Amazon Connect, they felt that the technology was limitless. With AWS and Lambda, they could connect to back-end systems. They could create natural experiences. They went from having to build IVR applications in weeks to now hours and days. And they were able to move away from traditional clients and being tied to physical hardware, to having a clientless browser-based solution, which allowed them to implement a contact center anywhere. Okay, now I'd like to give you a demonstration. Okay, just going to take a moment here and drag my window over. All right. Okay. So, to start on a demonstration, if you're going to build this on your own, you'd go to awsamazon.com/connect, and here's where you can get started with Amazon Connect. I've already created an instance of Amazon Connect, so we're going to jump into my instance, and I'll walk you through a customer experience and an agent experience. You're looking at Amazon Connect here. There's a dashboard. I've already gone past the dashboard here, and I've gone to the Managing the Phone Numbers section. You can see all the phone numbers that I've associated with my Amazon Connect instance. And here you see what those phone numbers are doing, what action they're performing, and what contact flow they're launching that is associated with that phone number. First one I'm going to give you is this phone. First demo I'm going to give you is this phone number right here. It's for our general customer service line. It's going to perform a general customer service workflow. And in this workflow, I'm going to demonstrate a personal and dynamic customer experience. I'm going to call into it, and at first it's not going to recognize my number as being in the database, so it's going to automatically add my number to the database. And as the agent, I'm going to associate, and I take that call, I'm going to associate my name or the customer's name with that phone number. So then when the customer calls in a second time, it can dynamically change the greeting and play something unique to them because now it recognizes them. Before I do that though, I'll quickly show you what the agent contact control panel looks like. Click the little phone here. This is the agent contact control panel. This allows agents to handle and manage calls. Okay, right now I'm in available status. I could change that status. There's a few things programmed in here that I can change it to: lunch, offline, team meeting. Now for this demo, I wanted to be able to show some data going back and forth from the system to the agent so that the agent's more knowledgeable when they answer a call. So I'm going to close this control panel and show you. We've embedded, for this demo, embedded the contact control panel into a web page where we can pass information from the system to the agent. This over here, think of this as a mini CRM, but this could be, you could use your CRM or custom application, anything that you want to pass information to so that when the agent receives the call, they know who the caller is and why they're calling. Okay, let's launch this customer experience. Dialing the number.
Phone number not found. Thank you for calling. Your call is very important to us and will be answered in the order it was received.
Okay. So now you can see the call is ringing in. The customer or the person that called is on hold. You heard them listening to the hold music. I choose to answer the call. Oh, I didn't answer it fast enough. Okay. I missed the call, but I could still show you the contact attributes here. You could see that it collected the caller ID for the inbound call, but it didn't collect a name, a first name, or a last name. And what we have it passing right here is the unique contact ID that'll be traced throughout that call. Let's call in one more time here. Now, the second time I'm calling in, it should recognize me and tell me the last time it called, because I just called and now my number is in the database. Let's give it a try.
Hi, welcome back. The last time you called was Monday, July 10th, 2017. Thank you for calling. Your call is very important to us and will be answered in the order it was received.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to answer this call. And notice it passed on the caller ID. It greeted us specifically with my a welcome back call. And I'm going to go ahead and associate a name with that user. Chris Bergen. Okay. Refresh this. So I refreshed the database. Now we're going to call back in. Okay, set to available. Call back in, and now because I associated a name with that call coming in, once again, the greeting should change and play a unique greeting for me. Now that it knows my name, it should use my name.
Hi, welcome back. The last time you called was Monday, July 10th, 2017. Thank you for calling. Your call is very important to us and will be answered in the order it was received.
Okay. Let me try adding my name here. Okay. Set to available. Let's try this one more time.
Hi, Chris Bergen. Welcome back. The last time you called was Monday, July 10th, 2017. Thank you for calling. Your call is very important to us and will be answered in the order it was received.
Okay. So that time, you can now see, and I just hung up the call, but you can see that it passed the name and these attributes. Now it's passing Chris Bergen along with the call. So the agent is able to see information about the caller before they even answer the call, and of course upon answer. Okay. I'm going to go back to the Amazon Connect instance. I'm going to open the contact flow so you can see how we created that experience. This is the customer experience that we just demoed. I'm going to go into routing our contact flows and go into its general customer service, and this will launch the contact flow. The contact flow, you can edit the contact flow in the contact flow editor. It's a drag and drop canvas, so you can create the experience here with low technical skills. Okay, if I wanted to add a greeting, you can see as a call comes in, right now it's going into the system and it sets the voice that you heard that answered the call. That was Joanna, and it played a text-to-speech prompt. What happened was it would set the voice of Joanna, and then it would invoke that AWS Lambda function. And in that function, it executed some code that can be written in any standard in most standard code languages. And we're invoking that code with this contact block. The code is determining whether or not the phone number of the inbound caller is in the database or not. So success, if it's in the database, it goes this direction, it branches this way to play a prompt. If it's not in the database, it branches this way to play a prompt. On the first time we called in, you would notice that it played the prompt, phone number not found. Okay, if I click on this prompt, you can see what we did was we just said, okay, if the phone number is not found, play this text-to-speech prompt, phone number not found. And it played it in Joanna's voice because we set the text-to-speech voice as Joanna here for all the rest of these interactions. The second time we called in, or the third time, it knew our name because we associated that with the phone number. So when it found the number in the database, it looked for our name. And you can see here, we choose text-to-speech and play hi, first name, last name. So in this case, it was hi, Chris Bergen. And you can see we created a variable from the database. We're using variables to dynamically change the experience for every caller that calls in. If their name's in the database, it'll read their first and last name to them. Now, if I want to quickly change this, I can go to interact. On the left here are all the contact blocks. You see some of them on this canvas. But I can go grab a contact block, drop it in as a non-technical user, and change. Let's say I want to add a greeting that says, due to weather, we're closing at 2 p.m. today. Okay, I'm going to go to the play prompt, and I'm going to add that. I want it to be a text-to-speech greeting. Say, due to weather, we are closing at 2 p.m. today. Save. And now to get that prompt, that greeting into the contact flow, I would draw the new arrow to here, and coming out of this prompt back to the Lambda function. So now you can see I can move this around, and the contact flows stay connected to their boxes. And you would go up here and click Save and Publish. If you want to try this contact flow before you save over the last one, you can do versioning by creating Save As and save it as a different name, then publish that and associate a phone number with this contact flow. This gives you a quick example of how to create a personal and dynamic experience, and then how to leverage the contact flows. Okay, I'm going to go back to the presentation. Okay, one of the differentiators that we haven't talked about yet is the way Amazon Connect is priced. We believe that customers should only have to pay for the value that Amazon Connect delivers to your customers. So instead of creating agent-based pricing or seat pricing, the Amazon Connect is built based on the concept of customer connected minute. The customer connected minute is anytime a customer calls in to your contact center and is interacting with the technology or agents. So if they're leveraging the contact flow in a self-service way, checking their account or changing a password or whatever your application might be, or they're routed to a queue and they're in queue waiting, or they're speaking with an agent, those minutes are the billable minutes for Amazon Connect. All the other time that you would interact with your contact center that doesn't involve a customer calling in, there are no charges. So if you would like to configure your Amazon Connect for a POC and you're creating contact flows, or you're a quality assurance specialist and you're listening to recordings, or you're a supervisor or a manager viewing reports, but you're not interacting with customers and no customers are in the system, you're not accruing any charges. So it's a pay-as-you-go model. It includes telephony so that you can get access to new numbers, or you can port numbers based on the region that you're in. There are no required commitments, no contracts. It automatically scales up or scales down, no problem in doubling or tripling your size. You don't have to worry about minimum commitments and some percentage of your minimum commitment to scale. It'll automatically scale with you based on the volume that you're driving through Amazon Connect. And last, there's no hardware or space required. This is an example of the pricing for North America. Amazon Connect is available at 1.8 cents per customer connected minute anywhere in the world. However, there's also telephony charges that apply. These telephony charges I'm showing here are from North America, but there's different telephony charges depending on where your contact center, what region you're serving or country you're serving with your contact center. There's a charge for having local numbers or DID numbers, direct inward dial, and a charge per month for having toll-free numbers. So you can port your existing numbers or you can get new ones when you create your Amazon Connect instance. The usage charge for the local numbers and toll-free numbers are as follows: 0.003 for an inbound DID per minute and 0.012 for an inbound toll-free per minute. Lastly, there's a cost for making outbound calls as well, which is 0.0065. But keep in mind, you don't have to manage any telephony circuits. All the telephony is available at these per minute and per month costs. Numbers are available in these additional countries. This list is always changing and evolving, so please visit the Amazon Connect website to have an updated list of countries where numbers are available. If a number isn't available, you can request to, if it's not listed within the application, to get a phone number from a country you're interested in. You can send a request to support, and we can very possibly create that number for you in the country of your interest. Send a note to support in that instance. There is a free tier for Amazon Connect. So you have 90 minutes of Amazon Connect free per month for a year. Toll-free numbers are free. You have one toll-free number per month for a year free and one DID number as well. And then 30 minutes of each type of calling you would want to do: inbound toll-free, inbound DID, and outbound. So it's very low cost to get started with the application. There's no cost to create an instance, no cost to configure your contact flows or hours of operation or routing profiles, to play with the sample contact flows. The only charges you accrue, again, are based on the usage, and with this free tier, you have 90 minutes of Amazon Connect for free and 30 minutes of each type of calling for free. And that is our presentation for today.
Okay, great. Thanks, Chris. We've had a number of questions that have come in, so let's go ahead and get started. The first question is, who is the carrier used for telephony?
Okay. Amazon Connect is your carrier, or Amazon becomes the carrier for the telephony. We leverage three different, we leverage a number of carriers, and Amazon Connect can handle the numbers anywhere in the globe.
Okay, great. And the next question is, can I have a phone number in Australia?
Yes. As a matter of fact, we now have a instance, or Amazon Connect is available in the APAC region, based out of Sydney. Numbers are available there. You could even launch a APAC instance of Amazon Connect.
All right, great. So the next question is, can I use my own SIP endpoint?
No. Today, we don't support SIP endpoint. You can leverage a soft phone like I demonstrated today, our contact control panel, or you could route calls to an existing telephone on the agent desk. However, you would route that call to that phone using a DID number. There's an additional outbound charge for that when you do that.
Okay, wonderful. So on the subject of soft phones, the next question is, can I change the soft phone for integrations with custom apps or CRM?
Yes, you can. There's an API available on GitHub, our Streams API. It allows you to embed the contact control panel into applications, so CRM or a custom application that you have in your environment. There are also off-the-shelf integrations available as well. We have integrations to most of the major CRMs, such as Salesforce, Soho, Zendesk. So you can create your own integration or use an out-of-the-box integration.
Alrighty, next question is this system PCI certified?
It is. It's PCI certified and conforms with the PCI standards that AWS supports for applications, and you can find that online at AWS.
All right, and the next question is about contact flows. Can I manage different versions of contact flows, and how are the version control supported? How is the version control supported?
Yeah, we have basic versioning today that I showed within the contact control or within the contact flow editor, leveraging the save as and then advancing that contact flow to publishing it. Allows you to create basic versioning between environments that are in production and not in production.
Alrighty, thanks, Chris. That seems to be all the time we have for today. Folks, if you're interested in learning more about Amazon Connect, visit aws.amazon.com/connect. And you can also view the recording of this webinar and that webpage as well. Thank you so much for joining us.